In the quiet, God-fearing community of Erling, Iowa, in the year 1928, a young woman known to history as Emma Schmidt lived an ordinary life. Raised in a devoutly Catholic family, her days were marked by simple faith and routine. She was unremarkable in every way, a pious girl on the cusp of womanhood. But something was about to change. It began subtly, with periods of profound confusion and an aversion to anything sacred. Her once calm demeanor was shattered by fits of rage that her family couldn't explain. They were devout, but they were also practical. Their first recourse was not the church, but the hospital. Doctors at the local hospital were perplexed. Emma underwent numerous evaluations. They searched for signs of epilepsy, hysteria, or any known psychological disorder of the time. Yet, every test came back normal. Physically, she was a model of health. Mentally, she was deteriorating at an alarming rate. Her symptoms grew more violent and bizarre. She would speak in guttural voices, sometimes in languages she had never learned, including Latin, a language she understood with chilling fluency. Her family, now desperate, watched as medical science failed to provide an answer. The doctors, having exhausted all their options, reluctantly suggested that her condition might be beyond their understanding, perhaps a matter for the church. With nowhere else to turn, Emma's family sought the help of the Catholic diocese. After careful consideration, a decision was made. The case was unusual, disturbing, and met the criteria for a formal rite of exorcism. The year is still 1928. Emma is transported to a Franciscan convent in Erling, Iowa. This remote, quiet place was chosen for its seclusion, a place where the battle for Emma's soul could be waged away from the public eye. A team of clergy, led by the experienced exorcist Father Theophilus Riesinger, prepared for what would become one of the most documented cases of possession in modern history. The convent's serene chapel was about to become a spiritual battleground. Inside the convent, the atmosphere was thick with anticipation and dread. The exorcism began on August 18th. What followed was a grueling 23-day ordeal, meticulously observed and recorded by the attending priests and nuns. The room was kept dimly lit, illuminated only by flickering candlelight and the faint light filtering through stained glass windows. Emma, restrained for her own safety and the safety of others, exhibited behaviors that defied all rational explanation. Witnesses documented her levitating from the bed, her body contorting into unnatural positions. Horrific sounds echoed through the convent halls, animalistic growls and screams that seemed to emanate not from her, but from something deep within her. The phenomena intensified. The attending nuns reported that consecrated objects, like holy water or a crucifix, would cause her to recoil violently, her body blistering as if touched by fire. She displayed an uncanny knowledge of the hidden sins of those present, shouting out their deepest secrets with a mocking, malevolent laugh that was not her own. These were not the ramblings of a disturbed mind. They were specific, accurate, and designed to psychologically torment the very people trying to help her. The priests engaged the entity, or entities, speaking to them in Latin, demanding their names. The guttural voices that answered claimed to be a legion, naming Beelzebub, Judas, Iscariot, and even Lucifer among them. The battle of wills was relentless. Father Riesinger and his team prayed day and night, their faith tested at every turn. They described an almost tangible presence of evil in the room, a cold that seeped into their bones. The entity within Emma would taunt them, predicting their actions and mocking their prayers. It spoke of a pact, claiming it had taken possession of Emma when she was a teenager, a claim that added a chilling layer to her history. Nurses who assisted reported that her physical strength became superhuman, requiring several strong individuals to hold her down. The air in the room would often become foul with inexplicable sulfurous odors, and objects would sometimes move on their own. Week after week, the rite continued. The strain was immense, not just on Emma, but on everyone in the convent. They were isolated, fighting a battle that seemed unwinnable. The entities reveled in the chaos, their voices growing stronger, their manifestations more dramatic. The priests would present blessed food, which Emma's body would violently reject. Yet she would ravenously consume unblessed food if it was secretly swapped in. This strange intelligence, this ability to discern the sacred from the profane, was one of the most compelling pieces of evidence for the clergy. It was a consciousness separate from Emma's, one that was actively resisting every attempt to expel it. The question of whether this was a profound psychological break or a genuine spiritual war became secondary to the immediate, terrifying reality they faced each day. The final days of the exorcism were the most violent. The convent was shaken by screams and a palpable sense of struggle. The entities declared they would not leave, that they would destroy the girl rather than be cast out. Father Riesinger, drawing on his final reserves of strength and faith, commanded the spirits in the name of God to depart. Witnesses described a climactic moment, a final, agonizing convulsion that shook Emma's entire body. There was a deafening shriek that seemed to echo from the very walls of the convent, and then a sudden, profound silence. The date was December 23, 1928. Just before Christmas, the ordeal was over. Emma Schmidt collapsed, exhausted but calm. She awoke as if from a long, terrible nightmare, with no memory of the preceding weeks. The guttural voices were gone. The violent contortions ceased. She could once again tolerate sacred objects and pray without aversion. She was weak, but she was herself. The doctors who examined her afterward found her to be completely normal. The psychological torment had vanished as suddenly as it had appeared. She went on to live a quiet, devout life, never again experiencing the horrific symptoms that had plagued her. The church declared the exorcism a success, but the question remains, casting a long shadow over the events in that Iowa convent. What truly happened to Emma Schmidt? Was she the victim of a profound, unclassified mental illness that manifested in a way that perfectly mimicked religious narratives of possession? Or was she, as the priests and nuns who witnessed the events firmly believed, engaged in a genuine battle against a demonic force? The detailed, sober accounts left behind by multiple witnesses paint a picture that defies easy explanation. Science offers one perspective, faith another. In the end, the case of the girl from Erling, Iowa, leaves us in the quiet, unsettling space between the known and the unknowable. A chilling reminder that there may be more to our world than we can ever fully comprehend. Thank you for watching. If this story intrigued you, consider subscribing for more explorations into the unexplained.